Today is Wednesday, October 6, 2021. Welcome you all to our evening news bulletin, coming to you live from our studios on the John Evans at Mills High Street here in Accra. I am Miss Na Ankara. A big thank you to Asatec Roofing Sheets, Blue City Ties and Accessories, Dank Herbal Complex and Yaksin Herbal Mixture. Now let's take a look at our highlight. In tonight's bulletin, University Teachers Association of Ghana is back in the news again as members of the association have been asked to resume their suspended strike. We will tell you more about that shortly. The minority in Parliament is opposing the use of the Ghana card as the sole card to be used for the re-registration of SIM cards. We will tell you what their concerns are. Did you know you could be jailed for 5 years for issuing a dad check? Well, we will tell you why in business tonight. And finally, in sports, the head coach for the senior national team, the Black Stars, has charged his players to be proud of themselves for being part of the Black Stars squad for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Please do stay with us. Remember, we're also live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana and also on YouTube at Adoatv_GH. Now to our first story. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has extended the leave of absence from office for the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Honorable Sarah Adoa, who is also the Member of Parliament for Dome-Kwabenya, which have ended on 31st August 2021. This was contained in a statement released by the Communications Directorate at the Jubilee House, signed by the Director of Communications, Eugene Ahin, dated October 6, 2021. According to the statement, in the absence of Adoa and until further notice, President Akufo-Addo has directed the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Cecilia Abena Dapa, to act as caretaker minister for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. The minister sought leave of absence for personal reasons. In other stories, the University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG has asked its members to resume their suspended strike on Friday, October 8, 2021 over poor conditions of services. According to the association, negotiations with the government are in stalemate a month after it suspended the earlier strike, hence the need to resume its strike. This was contained in a press release issued to its members on Tuesday, October 5, 2021.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana has asked its members to resume their suspended strike on Friday. According to the said release, the decision arrived on Friday, October 1st, 2021. UTAG insists that the decision has become imperative because negotiations with the government are in passe a month after it suspended the earlier strike. Following the signing of Memorandum of Agreement with the employer to complete the negotiation on the condition of service of university teachers within 1 month by resolving all outstanding issues, which form the basis for suspending the strike, it is sad to report that 1 month moratorium has elapsed and the negotiations has almost reached a stalemate, the statement said. UTAG also stated that, unfortunately, within 1 month moratorium, the employer never shifted its position even though UTAG made a number of concessions. It thus concluded that, for this reason, the National Executive Committee of UTAG, at its meeting held on October 1st, 2021, resolved that if the employer's position remains unchanged by Friday, 8th October 2021, members should resume the suspension of teaching and related activities until further notice. UTAG members went on strike on a 17-day strike action in August 2021 because they wanted the government to reinstall the conditions of service agreed upon in 2012, which they said was far better than the current situation. The 2012 single spine package put entry-level lecturers on salary of $2,084, while the current level puts lecturers' salaries around $900. The strike by UTAG seriously affected academic and some non-academic work at the various tertiary campuses. The High Court's Labour Division 1 advised the National Labour Commission and UTAG to settle the stalemates over their industrial action out of court. UTAG had earlier disclosed that it will only call off its strike completely upon successful negotiations with the government and the NLC.
Away from that, the Member of Parliament for South Day, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo, has disclosed that lawmakers behind the anti-LGBTQ plus bill remain resolute in their bid to ensure its passage into law. According to him, members of Parliament owe the majority of Ghanaians a responsibility to safeguard and the value of the country and to promote sexual preferences which are in the sync with the country's general values.
Parliament for South Day has disclosed that lawmakers behind the anti-LGBTQ plus bill remain resolute in their bid to ensure its passage into law. According to Dixon Dafimapo, he urged the persons behind the memo to promote same-sex relationship in their families and spare the country their alien agenda. Singing out Professor Emerita Techiwa Menu for criticism, Dafimapo charged her to permit her sons and daughters to have sexual affairs since it is their right. He stated that, whilst it is within Professor Emerito Menu's purview to promote such culture within her family, he and his colleagues will use every possible means to avert it from becoming a national practice. Roxanne revealed that Professor Menu's quest to use the malaria situation in the country to discredit the task of the MPs is flawed as the country has a comprehensive anti-malaria policy. Professor Techiwa Menu said at the press conference that malaria is killing people and we are not doing anything about it. Is she not aware that we have a whole policy tackling malaria? When they want to champion a certain cause, then they make these vague arguments that malaria is killing people and we are not concerned. Professor Techiwa Menu has sons and daughters. If she can advise them to marry themselves, then it's her own headache, but we won't allow them to pollute the society. If we pass the law and they are not happy, they should go to the Supreme Court. The member of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament said that his outfit will invite members of the pro-LGBTQ+ campaign to provide a defense of their memo. He therefore assured that nothing will stand in their way of the MPs in passing the promotions of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family value bills 2021. I have read their memo and would want them to show us the human rights law is abusing. They should show us the human rights. If Akoto Ampao is saying what we are doing is against the rights of people, he should show us the identified members of the group. If some group rise up that they are going to rob people, are we saying that they can't be stopped because they have the right to join any group? Akoto Ampao claims to fight for the minority. Who are they? They should be an identifiable minority. Akoto Ampao comes from Sao. The people have no representatives in parliament. Why is he not fighting for them? We have received his memo laced with insult. He insulted us in the memo but will not say anything. He said the bill is a conduct unbecoming of a modern parliament. He said we are witch hunting gays and lesbians in the country. We will allow them to defend their memo, he stated.
Now, the former Dean of the University of Ghana School of Information and Communication Studies, Professor Audrey Gajekpo, has stated emphatically that there is no law in Ghana books against being gay. According to her, the closest to an anti-gay law that people can quote is the issue of unnatural carnal knowledge, which is a colonial carryover.
A former dean of the University of Ghana School of Information and Communication Studies, Professor Audrey Gajekpo, says that there is no law in Ghana against being gay. There is no law. The closest you will get people quote is the law against unnatural carnal knowledge. That's colonial era law. The British bequeathed it to us. We haven't removed it from our books. But if somebody is gay, does it automatically translate to the person having unnatural carnal knowledge? So if you are heterosexual, does it automatically translate to you having sex? She asked. She explained that even for heterosexuals, identifying with their orientation did not necessarily translate to having sex. She added that sex was an activity and a matter of choice because some people may never have sex in their lives. Secondly, unnatural carnal knowledge defined is not only restricted to homosexuality, oral sex as well as unnatural carnal knowledge, but anal sex is also unnatural carnal knowledge, and therefore heterosexuals who indulge in those according to the law are just as guilty as homosexuals, she submitted. Professor Gajipo is part of a group of 18 academicians and human rights defenders who have voiced strong opposition to a bill before Parliament seeking to extensively criminalize the activities of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, LGBTQ+. The group submitted a memorandum to Parliament seeking that the bill is rejected because it was largely unconstitutional and infringed on basic human rights. Members of Parliament behind the bill, led by Ningo Prampram MP Sam Nate George, have rubbished the memorandum and asserted that the bill will be passed into law because it has the support of the wider Ghanaian populace. All that said, the wardens of the memorandum are equally of the candid view that the anti-LGBTQ+ bill is a characteristic of medieval parliament and no current parliament will oversee its passage.
And in other news, the minority in parliament is opposing the use of the Ghana identification card as the sole card to be used by Ghanaians for the re-registration of their SIM cards. According to the deputy ranking member on the Communications Committee, Sam Nate George, the legislation that backs SIM registration does not make the Ghana card the sole card for the purpose of registration. They hence demanded the immediate withdrawal of the threat for all SIM cards not re-registered by March 2022 to be deactivated. The minority in Parliament on the Communications Committee are making a case against the re-registration of all subscriber identification model cards as directed by the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. The exercise, which started October 1, is in two phases: linking one's Ghana card to a SIM card and then physically visiting an agent of a service provider by a SIM card holder for an integration process to be completed. As part of the policy directive from the ministry, failure to register one SIM within a 6-month period could lead to one losing their phone numbers entirely, and this means that one must have a Ghana card to be able to register a SIM card. Addressing the press in Parliament, Sam Nate George stated that the minority are opposing the sole use of the Ghana identification card as the sole card to be used by Ghanaians for the re-registration of their SIM cards. According to him, the legislation that backs SIM registration does not make the Ghana card the sole card for purposes of registration.
The current legislation that backs SIM registration in Ghana is the LI 2006 that was passed by Parliament in 2011 under then Minister for Communications and now Minority Leader Honorable Haruna Idrisu. This legislation saw the registration that happened in 2012 in the country. The legislative instrument, that's the LI 2006, does not mandate the linkage of the Ghana card to activate a SIM card in this country. The National Identification Authority Act 2006, Act 707, and LI 2111, which introduced the use of the Ghana card as a principal document for registration of a number of national cards, including SIM cards, bank accounts, passports, cannot be applied retrospectively to SIM cards that were registered legally and legitimately under the existing LI 2006.
However, he suggested the use of passports, driver's license, and voters' ID cards as part of identification for the registration process.
Section 7 of LI 2111 makes the use of the Ghana card mandatory, but does not make it the sole card for the purpose of registration. And this is a very critical point, because you hear the ministry say that the LI 2111 says that the Ghana card is the only card to be used for the registration of SIMs. That is not correct. And we can quote for you what the LI says specifically, so that and I would urge you as media men to take the LI and look at it. LI 2111, Section 7 says, mandatory use of national identity card. 7.1 says, a national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required. A, application for an issuance of a passport. B, application for an issuance of a driver's license. C, opening of individual or personal bank accounts. D, purchase of insurance policies. E, purchase, transfer, and registration of land. F, transactions pertaining to individuals in respect of pension. G, transactions specified under the National Health Insurance Scheme. H, transactions that have social security implications. I, consumer credit transactions. J, registration of voters. K, payment of taxes. L, registration of SIM cards. M, application for public or government services, facilities, approvals, permission of benefit. And N, any other transaction which the authority may determine and publish in this gazette. Now, the point we make here is it says shall be used, but does not say shall be the only card used. And so, if you remember when we had the voters registration, they accepted the Ghana card as a basis for registering for the new voters ID card, but also allowed other national identifications. So, for the minister to then say that only the Ghana card will be used for registration of SIM cards is an abuse of LI 2111, and it's not backed by any law. We accept that the Ghana card can be used for the SIM card registration, but other national IDs must also be accepted for registration of the SIM.
Subsequently, the minority demanded the immediate withdrawal of the threat for all SIM cards not re-registered by March 2022 to be deactivated. And in other news, Member of Parliament for Efutu Alexander Kwamina Afenyo-Makin has affirmed the readiness of Winneba to host the extraordinary session of ECOWAS that is expected to commence from 12th to 22nd October 2011. The Deputy Majority Leader, who addressed the parliamentary press call this afternoon, reiterated their commitment and preparedness towards the hosting of 110 members of Parliament and 15 state members of ECOWAS.
Between 27th of July and 31st of July, Winneba hosted ECOWAS delocalized meeting, the ECOWAS Parliament delocalized meeting, and it was very successful. Mr. Speaker, in his wisdom, again, gave Winneba the opportunity to hold the extraordinary session this October, and it's taking place between the 12th of October and the 22nd of October. I want to assure every Ghanaian that Winneba is ready to host the sub-region. We have made sufficient preparations in terms of infrastructure and logistics. Government of Ghana has provided the needed support, and in fact some corporate institutions in Ghana have given firm assurance of their support for the upcoming event. In all the 15 member states will participate, save that Guinea is temporary on the ice. It's not participating. Guinea has been suspended. So we do not expect the Guinea delegation to be in Winneba. We are expecting, therefore, about 110 members of parliament in the sub-regional parliament to congregate in Winneba for the 10-day period. All the speakers, Mr. Speaker himself and the deputy speakers will be present. There will be resource persons, experts would be there to take us through aspects of the program. And accommodation-wise, we have made sufficient arrangements. In fact, some hotels that needed to upgrade their facilities have upgraded their facilities. The ECOWAS protocol recce team was in Winneba last week, and they were satisfied with the facilities so far. The University of Education Winneba auditorium would be the venue for the main event, the Jofus Anamwa Mensa auditorium. It has the state-of-the-art facilities and is going to be the main venue. Windy Lodge conference room will also be on standby to provide the base for other consultative meeting, discussions and seminar and all that will take place.
In some other stories, a delegation from Adoatv or Adoa Media Consult, led by the director, Mr. Reginald Ansa Ejay, has met the CEO, Mr. Madoda Nzwaki, and management team of South African Broadcasting Corporations, South Africa's biggest broadcasting hub on future partnership, mentorship, and content syndication. The team from Adoatv were taken through a tour within South African Broadcasting Corporation's radio and television sections before engaging the management team of the mother broadcasting firm in South Africa. After cordial and formal conversations, a memorandum of understanding is expected to be issued between both media firms to kickstart a great amalgamation. Part of the MOU would require correspondence from Adoatv presenting features on Ghana and West African sub-region and vice versa. The MOU will also see to the syndication of content from both channels, where businesses alike will reach target audience in the rest of the continent. The delegation from Adoatv includes Mr. Cyril Jones Okine, Deputy Director of the channel in charge of administration, marketing and finance, Mr. Reginald Adi, Head of Social Media, Mr. Samuel Kusi Apia, Head of Events and Sports, and Mr. Chris Marion Amenuku, Technical Department, Mr. Magnus Thompson, Social Media Department, and Mr. Reginald Robertson, Programs Manager. The team is embarking on a 10-day working visit to Johannesburg, aside the engagement with SABC, also to other advertisement firms, businesses, and tourists for further collaborations. From that, the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, has expressed fears that tertiary education institutions in Ghana may soon demand that prospective studies or students write entrance exams before they are admitted. This, according to him, is the consequences for engaging in all this examination malpractice. The president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, has expressed fears that tertiary education institutions in Ghana may soon demand that candidates will write entrance exams before they are admitted to school. According to him, this will be the consequence of the worsening incidents of examination question leakages that have characterized the West African Examination Council's examinations, including the West Africa Senior High School Certificate Exams (WASSCE) and the Basic Education Certificate Exams (BECE). Speaking in an interview, he said examination leakages is getting more systemized and complicated, and the examination management body appears to be unimpeded in dealing with it decisively. He said the phenomenon has lessened the value of WAEC certificates, hence his fears that the various tertiary institution councils may at some point decide that only students who pass entrance exams will be granted admission. These leakages put the integrity and sanctity of certifications in question. When the universities in Ghana begin to question the validity and sanctity of our exam, I will not be surprised that in the near future, the various councils of the universities will take a decision where students write entrance exam before they get into the universities, he said. Mr. Kabunu suggested that WAECs there in dealing with the situation may be as a result of the sophistication with which the perpetrators of exam question leakages operate with the aid of technology. How come that WAEC is being found incapable of finding a solution to this? Maybe WAEC systems are so weak to the extent that it's unable to identify the problem and solve the problem, taking into account the fact that there is a sophisticated technology operating outside WAEC, he added. WAEC has come under serious criticism for the past 4 years over the leakage of its exam questions. Ahead of the writing day, some groups such as the Africa Education Watch have taken on WAEC over the situation and leveled blame on them for doing very little to tackle the situation. But WAEC has often downplayed such accusations. Recently, it was forced to reschedule the physics and business management papers over the leakage of the question. Now, one topic that has had a no response from the minority in Parliament, NDC, and the majority of the public is the issues of procurement of a bigger presidential jet, as according to the Director of Communication at the Office of the President, Mr. Eugene Ahin, has become a necessary evil. There is more to the following report.
So, because I penny or money in a shenansa, and say, and so, me the magic training. Why? Oh, Nyame be hwe Nyame be hwe no de ba asase so no na be kutakuta yensa why nti me de me madwene senka mama ne nto no because o tu kwan a e so kono bantem sai me kura nka meto why nti no nyaaye.
The constant dilemma of whether or not Ghana should procure a bigger private jet to accommodate the president and his entourage while traveling has become a roller coaster conversation for months. Recently, Minister for Defense, Mr. Dominic Nitiwu, has been handling the process in relation to buying a bigger and new presidential jet. The minister has made it clear that government has decided to buy a bigger jet to save costs. Meanwhile, Director of Communications at the Presidency, Mr. Eugene Ahin, also prior to that, had given a hint as a press briefing at the Jubilee House on Monday, September 27, 2021, that the move to get a bigger fit-for-purpose aircraft was part of cost-saving measures on the travels of the president and other state key functionaries.
In 2008, it had procured 2 jets, the current Falcon, and then a bigger Embraer, if I'm not mistaken. And for one reason or another, the bigger jet was cancelled, and we were left with this particular one here. I don't know what I mean. Obviously, it would have made much more economic sense to keep the bigger one, because obviously when that happens, when you're traveling with your delegation, and as you know, you don't have to send media people ahead of time. All of you can just go at a go, saves cost and everything. But well, it has happened, and you collect that the Minister for Defense has made it clear that government has decided to buy a bigger jet to save us from all these troubles. I wouldn't want to go into details. I'm sure when the Minister for Defense has the opportunity to give further information as to what government is doing with respect to that, I'm sure he'll do that. But I know for a fact that, yes, as he has rightly indicated, government is already in the process of acquiring a bigger jet.
However, Communications Officer for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Sami Jenfi, on Saturday, 2nd October 2021, reacted to the MPP government's decision to buy a new presidential jet, saying the Akufo-Addo-led government's decision to acquire a presidential jet at this time is a case of misplaced priority. Mr. Jenfi stressed that government being aware of the woes of citizens who are managing to cope in a post-COVID-19 Ghana and still pursuing a quest to buy a presidential jet is unacceptable. Again, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Chief Knights in Benue, on Tuesday, 3rd October, has also said that President Akufo-Addo and his government's decision to purchase a new presidential jet is curious, most especially when the country is trying to navigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, and he even entertaining the idea to buy a new presidential jet is inconsistent. Speaking to Adoatv on this topic, some Ghanaians found the decision rather disturbing, and they claim the hardship in the country is unbearable for President Akufo-Addo and his government to even conceive the idea of purchasing a new, bigger presidential jet.
Because already you will be that. Now say you will be not say who stand the scar for san koto bioma. Then not just say boy double. Because already there's rumor say who can hire private jet a jari woman in Yama. I walk plane you honor. I mean, Usan Kotobium, I say a couple. So by so Ghana Foka. And I said, yeah, no, we said, you knew your home, Papa. Seriously.
Oh, me, they mean, when say on top because I want you on my Mudu. And I'm over and so me when say it's cabin or the better and I'm a boy. So there are many projects where I was all the and no who here pa what I say. So jet need the first be any so.
But just no cause so say dia you fair baby and as be dia. But me come back to see.
Oh no be enjoy and I'm a boy. So come for the whole country in Dinechinko. Enjoy no go and enjoy what jet ni. What I say. So no me when you say no da no ya dia like a bit favor no ko and favor Ghana for. What I say, so me there. Me when you say a good idea, cry one bit.
I'm ranting in Maba when you enjoy my. On Maya, independence. It says 64 years. Na and Cladi or me a foot to four. And the truck, I will school them. So, on Maya, your team, one Amocas COVID. Na normal boa na coxer. Na mo nwe no ho e ma normal prices na ma for na manyi ska na musim de kokoto player ya play ni bi wo ho so say o pa kire say ye dwe ho aye nti ase da say na politicians o mo ba o ma no de o mo be ka kire o ba nya no na yehu da say enka menyi ni say gidie nya wo ni mu no enye no yehu o manu mai o ni mu a mo yen kan kire ni se me ka kire so hwe wo behwe bia ka kire so manu mu ayeden enwoma mo ba power 2016 ne o mo ka kire anoma o mo ka kire na anu ni yehu.
And that's all for local news. We'll be back with some business stories. Please do stay with us.
You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I am Priscilla Sewamenu, Miss Health Ghana 2020. The month October is noted for breast cancer awareness, and this October, Sonotech Ghana is partnering with Miss Health Ghana to bring you breast cancer awareness campaign dubbed Pink It Out. So from the 1st to 31st October, Sonotech Ghana is offering free breast screening for all women out there. Plus, you get 20% off mammogram and 50% off ultrasound scan if you need one at any of their branches. The campaign is on. Join the campaign, support women, encourage women to come for screening, and support women living with breast cancer. On this note, I will entreat all my sisters out there to come detect it, treat it, and defeat it, because early detection saves life. Thank you.
CB makeup now. I'm correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. You want oh, middle. You captures about one CB makeup sauce. Me see CB makeup sauce and make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew me that and 1 year packaging I had a pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie do ye. En ka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamase.
Adoa 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Back from that quick 10, time for business. And in some business stories, the Ministry of Finance has dismissed speculations on social media platforms that the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has resigned. In a statement, it said there is no truth in these rumors. The ministry wishes to assure the general public that there is no truth in these rumors. Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is at post and focused on his mandate given to him by His Excellency the President to serve the people of Ghana in his capacity as Finance Minister, it explained. This communique was issued by the Ministry on Tuesday, October 5, 2021. The general public is advised to disregard these rumors, it concluded. Earlier this year, the sector minister traveled to the U.S. for medical attention from complications of COVID-19 virus. Mr. Ofori-Atta subsequently returned for Parliament, vetting for his second spell as minister after Nana Akufo-Addo retained power in the 2020 general elections. The Bank of Ghana is reminding consumers that the issuance of that check still attracts fine or imprisonment of up to 5 years. It is therefore urging customers to have enough funds in their accounts before issuing a check. In a statement on financial literacy education on that checks, the central bank said consumers who issue checks for the first time will be warned by financial institutions while their offense is reported to the Credit Reference Bureau.
In a statement on financial literacy education on due checks, the central bank said consumers who issue checks for the first time will be warned by their financial institutions whilst their offense is reported to the Credit Reference Bureau. The central bank further warned that anyone who issued a due check for the third time in 3 years will be banned from issuing checks within the country for a minimum period of 3 years. Also, the affected customer will be banned from accessing new credit facilities from all financial institutions for the period of 3 years. Additionally, the customer name will be published in 2 daily newspapers for national circulation. The Bank of Ghana is reminding customers that the insurance of due checks still attract fine or imprisonment for up to 5 years. It is therefore urging customers to have enough funds in their accounts before issuing check.
Away from that, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers (COPEC) says fuel prices at the pump may hit 7 Ghana cedis per litre if the government does not put measures in place to caution Ghanaians. Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amoah, has stated that government must review the price build-up of petroleum products to ease the impact of the constant hikes on Ghanaians.
The Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amoah, has stated that fuel prices is now threatening to get to almost 7 Ghana cedis a litre. Currently, some major firms are trading it at over 6 Ghana cedis 50 pesos, and so any other increases that may come in subsequent days or weeks may push the price per litre to 7 Ghana cedis, and that, he stated, as awful. He further added that government must review the price build-up of petroleum products to ease the impact of constant hikes on Ghanaians. Oil prices on the international market is over $80 a barrel after starting the year at a little over $50 a barrel. But the reopening of economics across the globe due to the efficiency of COVID-19 vaccines, demand for fuel has experienced a sharp increase. Earlier this year, government, as part of revenue mobilization drive, introduced some levies and taxes in the 2021 budget, a move many has criticized. The taxes are the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy Act, Financial Sector Recovery Levy Act, and the Energy Sector Levy. These taxes, coupled with constant hikes in oil prices on the global market, have accounted for the increase in prices at the pumps.
And that will do for business. We will return with some sports news. Please do stay with us.
John, Ufini, wow, Eddie, what boy Juma. I check Ufina, or you fell one cassa from Asatec. Oh, na Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Why the catcher? Asatec roofing sheet dear, and your nice keke, with the bodan swa a chee, and renache. They want a calisa who do for fair bray. No one free roofing sheet, no dear. Who hear that will be out. Now, so the bodan swa, a zero supampe. What means which Roman send your open roofing sheet, no, we try the summer of pepe. Mama poor Asatec money there. One of my technical advice na estimate freely or professional installers nso a your on-site installation. Ne boss crowd da from pa. Oh yes, quality and new da feminine.
Asatec 5 days pay na wonsa kan order. Na wo year after sales service proper bin so. Hwehwe Asatec Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, Ebenkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region so Asatec Takrade Anaji, Yeni Princeland Hotel and di hwenimu. And Volta Region yewo Akachi South District Assembly kwan so wa.
Wow, October is here already and it's time for the world to go pink and pay attention to the chest of a woman. My name is Rebecca Donko, the founder of Makeup Ghana and the president of College of Beauty, Art and Entrepreneurship. And I'm excited about being the campaign ambassador for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an initiative by Sonotech Medical Center. And I consider this initiative a very important CSR, and I'm glad to be associated with an intervention which seeks to give hope and save lives. Awareness surrounding breast cancer is very important as it provides information on early detection and management. And these timely information can save lives. Know that breast cancer is treatable and manageable. So the whole of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get screened at any of the 3 branches of Sonotech Medical Center either the Osu branch, the Tema, or the West Hills Mall, with 50% discounts on breast ultrasound and 20% on mammogram. And remember that breast cancer awareness is important, but so is breast health awareness. So let us all endeavor to play our part in giving hope and saving lives. Thank you and stay blessed.
Water. But when I take your map, and that's all I know about order. You are fired.
Malaria and tea. You are yet more bono. Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo. Ashrin the customers. When you say, Mammy, I am smart. Upper CB Malakio. I'm money buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want to mean.
And now Emma when we are at war. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB Malakio. You didn't know nothing. And now kick out from a son so I CB Malakio. And no way so there. And I don't grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing near my appeal for. A batty woman for. Any quada won't in fear.
Susiana. What would you with me?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you adia to Musa and
Welcome back from that quick 10. Now let's settle for some sports stories. The head coach of the senior national team, the Black Stars, Milovan Rajvek, has charged his players to be proud of themselves for being part of the Black Star squad for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers doubleheader against Zimbabwe at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium on Saturday. Coach Milovan trained with a full squad of the first time at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. The Black Stars are seeking to get back to winning ways following the 1-0 loss to South Africa in the second Group G game. The Black Stars, who began the World Cup qualifying campaign with a 1-0 win over Ethiopia on match day 1, sit second in Group G with 3 points after 2 matches. 27 players and the technical team left Accra on Tuesday morning and started training immediately for the doubleheader. Milovan Rajvek's Chargers host the Warriors at the Cape Coast Stadium in a crucial Group G clash before clashing with them again in Harare on Tuesday. In a related development, the Black Stars will test their readiness against Central Regional Champions Soccer Intellectuals in Cape Coast. In an interaction with the Black Star players, Milovan told the players to be proud of representing their country and being part of this setup.
Be proud to be part of this setup. Be proud because you're representing your country. The only way we can do this is to do this together. Okay, thank you. Training for today. Assistants are already familiar with the schedule.
Odradit ćemo jedan deo treninga da se oporavimo posle puta.
First part of the training would be recovery because you were all traveled, so we will do 6 times 300 meters.
Ići ću ja sa vama i
Coach and Romeo, they will lead you.
Ja sam najbrži, nemojte se
Coach is the fastest, so don't compete with coach.
Znači ja sam prvi,
He is the
vi
first.
ste u liniji.
You are sticking to this line.
To vam kažem zato da lagano,
So
fino, da
this is easy.
I imamo 300 metara fino i zadnjih 50 metara
Last
izvučemo malo
50 meters,
da dignemo malo puls.
Just to improve our pulse just a little bit faster.
To ćemo uraditi 6 puta.
6 times, 300 meters.
I imat ćemo igru 3 boje.
Then we will play in 2 boxes here, 3 colors.
Imat ćemo malo završnicu na gol.
And in the end some finishing. and strength exercises in pairs with balls. And stretching, quality stretching in the end. This is for today.
And finally, Ghana Premier League champions Accra Heart of Oak has signed a partnership agreement with TSG Hoffenheim of the German Bundesliga and FC Cincinnati of the Major League Soccer. The partnership agreement with the two international clubs, according to the club, will concentrate and enhance all parties with education, technical know-how, impact and sustainability of the clubs. The board chairman of Accra Heart of Oak, Togbe Afedi, promised during the unveiling of the new jersey for the new season that the Heart of Oak will be securing a partnership deal with clubs from Europe and America. The promise has seen the light of day as Accra Heart of Oak has now signed a partnership deal with the Bundesliga side Hoffenheim and American Major League Soccer side Cincinnati FC. TSG Hoffenheim and FC Cincinnati groups have already arrived in Accra for the ceremonial opening of the Common Value Club Alliance. Accra Heart of Oak confirmed this on social media, saying that the board of Accra Heart of Oak is delighted to bring to the notice of the general public and its cherished supporters that the club is at the final stages of negotiations for a unique partnership with two international football clubs, namely TSG Hoffenheim and FC Cincinnati. Below are the details of the new partnership deal with both clubs. The Common Value Club Alliance will provide an important platform for transforming the on-field and off-field achievements of the club, while offering a unique opportunity for the partners to also benefit from Heart of Oak's 11 decades of African football success. Commenting on the new partnership with Accra Heart of Oak and Cincinnati, the head of corporate strategy at Hoffenheim, Mr. Stefan Wagner, commented that the shared interest among the three clubs in the areas of technology, holistic and youth development and sustainability are powerful, uniting force for partners that will collaborate as equal and make a difference. The decision by board chairman of Accra Heart of Oak to join this partnership, the executive chairman Togbe Afedi noted that the business of football is evolving beyond on-field focus and success. Football must be a strong force for good in our communities, especially in Africa. By working with minded partners, we can achieve amazing results. Accra Heart of Oak last season completed the double, winning the 2020-2021 Ghana Premier League title and lifting the MTN FA Cup trophy as well. And they are now 2 games away from entering the group stages of the CAF Champions League after eliminating Kasma from Guinea. We wrap up on tonight's bulletin, a recap of the highlights. Okay, so University Teachers Association again as members of the association have been asked to resume their suspended strike. The minority in parliament is opposing the use of the Ghana card as the sole card to be used for the re-registration of SIM cards. Did you know you could be jailed for 5 years for issuing a Dutch check? And finally, in sports, the head coach of the senior national team, the Black Stars, has charged his players to be proud of themselves for being part of the Black Star squad for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Log on to our website on www.adoanewsonline.com. The bulletin was proudly powered by Vena Mineral Water, Asatec Roofing Sheet, Yaxin Herbal Mixture, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Dank Herbal Complex. I am Ms. Na Ankara. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of our programs.